Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, where I talk about all of the crafty goodness that I have been working on over the past couple weeks. Today is March 22nd, 2021, and I have a very full cross-stitch episode for you guys this week. Before I jump on in, there are two places you can find me on the internet. The first on Instagram at birch.and.lily and the second on Ravelry at birchandlily. As well, I did want to let you know, if you are a knitter, that I am working hard to get my patterns up on Lovecrafts for you guys, because I know that Ravelry is changing and getting rid of the classic version completely, and it's going to make it hard for a lot of us knitters to be able to access the website. So my patterns are in the process of being put up on Lovecrafts, and I will make sure I let you guys know when they're up. I have a ton of things to show you guys today. I have some one fully finished object and a couple finished objects and all sorts of fun stuff, so let's jump on in quick. So the first thing I have to show you guys is a fully finished object, which does not happen often around here. This is Merry Merry Needleworker, which is a pattern from Lindy Stitches. I stitched this up on 40 count Bramble using all of the called for day threads. This pattern does come with two different color schemes, day and night, and this is the day scheme. So yeah, I stitched it up with all of the called for threads, and I stitched this one thread over two linen threads. So I'm really happy with this. Super simple. I just mounted it on sticky board and stuck it inside of this frame. While I'm thinking of it, the number on the back of here, this is from Hobby Lobby, is 1919786. I will make sure I put that across the bottom of the screen too. If you're interested in the frame, I was able to get it 50% off, I think, last week. But yeah, I'm so excited to have this framed. I think it's going to go up on the wall behind me, and I'm so excited to get some more pieces framed. I did go out, like I said, last week and bought a whole bunch of frames so that I can finish a whole bunch of pieces that have just been sitting around, and this is the first one that I ended up doing. So I also have a whole bunch of finished objects to show you guys, so let's jump into those. The first piece that I finished is Let It Snow Bungalow. This is a pattern by Hands On Design, and I'm so excited it's done. It always blows out though, so I'm gonna hold it way back here so that it doesn't. I stitched this up on 28 count black Jobelan using all of the call for threads minus the red of the house. I will hold it closer in a second and the white's gonna blow out, but at least you can see the rest of the colors. But the red, I ended up using a color and cotton thread. I think I have it over there on the desk, so I will grab it and tell you the color in a moment. But I am very excited to have this done. I stitched it 2 threads over 2 Jobelan threads. I guess it's not really linen, is it? I don't know, but it's 2 over 2. So let me grab that thread quickly if I can find it. Okay, so what I used in place of the called for red is Color and Cotton Parlor. I believe this was a club colorway, but I'm not 100% sure. It may be available on their website. If you're interested, you can take a peek. And otherwise, all of the called for threads for this project. So I'm sure the white's gonna blow out here now, but if I hold this closer up, you can get an idea of what it looks like, even though the color isn't perfect. I am so happy with this. This is a series, there is one for each season. So with the finish of this winter one, I also have summer and fall done. I just have spring to finish, which really should have been what I was working on, but I had started this winter one like a year and a half ago and it needed to be done. So now I'll start spring and get that going, and then I'll be able to switch these out for every season. So yeah, if you have any questions, I think I said it already, but please be sure to ask down below in the comments and I will help you out. If I feel like I've said something before in this video, I may have in the previous video, because I had about 8 minutes of this filmed and my phone crashed and didn't save the video. So kind of deja vu today, but we'll keep going and it'll be good. But yeah, very happy with this piece, and it's very easy finishing. I just have it mounted on like a wooden board, and I just put it on some sticky board and did a flat lay, and then it's held onto the wooden board with magnets and washers. Basically a Priscilla and Chelsea finish. If you haven't watched Stitching with the Housewives here on YouTube, I will have them linked down below. They are very prolific with finishing and I get a lot of my ideas from them. So along with that piece, I do have 2 other finished objects in a series, so I will grab those. They are sitting in a pretty southern bag because, like I said, it's a series. I will take them out though now that I'm upstairs in the craft room. And I have 1 more piece in this series to do and I'm done. So these are the little month cross stitches from Little House Needleworks. They come in like sets of 2 months with the called for threads as well. Actually, you just have to pick out the fabric yourself and the needle and you're good to go. So I have January finished now. I think I was almost finished this last episode. So like I said, called for threads. I stitched this 2/2 on 32 count raw natural linen. And it's a little wrinkly, but I never iron my stuff because I'm too lazy. Something fell. Okay. So that is January all finished up. And I also finished February. So I don't even think I had this started last episode. I think I was finishing up January. But February is all finished now as well. Super cute. I think this might actually be my favorite from all of them. I'll have to look through all of them because it's been so long. Once I have them all finished, I'll find a cute little box to store everything in so that I can change them out every month. But yeah, I think this might be my favorite. So again, this is stitched 2/2 on 32 count raw natural with all of the called for threads. So let's move into works in progress. The first one I have is the final in the series I was just showing you. This is the month of March. I am stitching it up with all of the called for threads. Like I said, they come in the pattern, like as part of the pattern. They come as a little set. I think the packs are each like $10. I can show you the front, I just can't show you the back. But they come like this with the threads in them and the pattern for 2 months. So like I said, I'm working on the final month I have left, which is March. And I do have a start to it. I actually just started this morning. So the border's almost done. I just have this brown floss that I'm going around with, just doing a square around the inside of that white border. And then I'll be able to work on the rest of the March piece. Again, this is stitched 2/2 on 32 count raw natural linen. And I'm so excited to be almost done. I think this is what I'm going to be working on tonight just because I really want to get these finished and get this bag cleared up for another project. So yeah, not tons done, just the border, but excited to be nearing the end of this big huge project. So next, something I haven't worked on in a while. This is Heaven and Nature by Teresa Kogut. This bag here is from Made by Mama Joan. And yeah, let's show Heaven and Nature. So I am not using the call for threads mostly for this project. What I ended up doing was going through and picking all of the DMC that I needed, and then going through my stash of overdyes and picking what kind of matched with those DMCs, and that is what I'm doing. So like for example, the pattern calls for DMC 221 and Prim Rust 2 from Victorian Motto Sampler Threads matched quite well, so I'm using the Victorian Motto instead. I just have the DMC on here so I know which is which when I'm pulling colors for the pattern. But some beautiful colors here. This is definitely a Christmassy piece, but not too Christmassy. I think I should be able to leave it up all year round. My desk over here is a mess, just ignore that. So using all of those threads, of course, I am stitching this up on a piece of 40 count mallow, my favorite fabric. And here is where I am. So let me fold some of this extra fabric out of the way. I have a really big piece here because I don't want to cut it until I have the border all finished and I know what's going on. But this is what I have done so far. So I think the last time I showed this whole page was done, but I hadn't moved over at all. So I have started moving over. I want to finish, I think, the whole border. So like I said, I can cut the extra fabric off. So I've been moving over. I'm almost to the corner of the piece. And then I did also work on these letters. So moving along, it's so beautiful. I'm excited to get down here because there's a raccoon, and I think I've said before, that raccoon is the reason I purchased this pattern. It's so cute. But just a beautiful, beautiful sampler piece. Teresa Kogut has been coming out with some gorgeous samplers. She's really good at designing them. So very happy with this. Like I said, a random smattering of colors. Some of them in here are the DMCs, some are pieces of, or random over-dyed skeins that I pulled from my stash. But it looks so pretty. I'm stitching this all one thread over 2 linen threads. And like I said, Teresa does beautiful patterns. The only complaint I have about this, on most of the patterns that I have, and I can't show them of course, but they have, so you finish, let's say page 1, and you move to page 2, and there's a little section of some grayed out charted portion, and that is showing you the previous page. So on page 2, it's showing you a couple rows of page 1 so that you kind of know where everything lined up, but Teresa's patterns don't have that. I don't know if that's something she's changed now, but it definitely makes it a little bit harder when you move on to the next page to know how everything lines up. I kind of have to pull out, like, for example, page 1 and 2 and hold them up to each other and kind of figure out what's going on, and then once I have a bit of page 2 in, I'm able to count a lot easier and figure it out. But otherwise, beautiful pattern, love it. Just takes a little bit more thinking when you move from page to page. Another favorite that I have been working on is Spring Squirrel by the Blue Flower. This is in a bag by Erica D. House. She's on Etsy. But I am using all of the called for over-dyes for this piece. I think I'm only missing one right now. One was out of stock and I did not have it in my stash. But really pretty springy, sort of pastel type colors. I think, are these all Gentle Art? Oh, there's a couple classic Colorworks in here and then Gentle Art threads. And I am also stitching this piece up on 40 count mallow. Like I said, my favorite. And this is where I am. So I'm almost done this flower pot. And this is basically 1/2 of the pattern. There's a little bit over here to do, but almost halfway done. So I have obviously the border to finish too, which I really should do soon because I hate borders. I don't know about you, but borders are not my favorite. But yeah, I just have this little gold section at the bottom of this pot to do, and there's a couple things I have to fill in on the greenery on the plant, but not too much. And then right up in here, there's a couple other things, but that is the thread that I'm missing, so I haven't done it yet. I should check if it's in stock anywhere again, though. But yeah, I just love this piece. So beautiful. I believe the designer of the Blue Flower is named Janine. Anyways, she comes out with absolutely gorgeous patterns. So intricate for a 40 count, but they just, I don't know, when you hold them back like this, it's so pretty. So I am stitching this again, 1 thread over 2 linen threads, and absolutely loving it. I'm sure I'll have popped a picture up on the screen, but I can't wait to get to the squirrel. That is my favorite part. I have Halloween squirrel and summer squirrel finished already, and they're so cute. So excited to have another one completed. And the final piece that I have to show you guys this episode is something that I've been working on for quite some time. It's definitely a favorite. I try to pull it out at least a couple times a week. This is A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. This bag here that it is in is from Pretty Southern. So, of course they're a mess, but I am using all of the called for threads for this piece. It's a mix of Weeks Dye Works and Anchor threads. Anchor is basically like DMC, but just a different brand. And then Weeks are over-dyed threads. I'm stitching this whole piece 1 over 2 linen threads, and it is on a piece of 40 count Beach Brew from R&R Reproductions. Got a little bit done since last time. This whole side is not new. I'll just hold it up so you can see everything first though. But everything on this side has been done for the past couple episodes. I'm just going to fold this in half and show what I have been working on. So since last time I did finish up this lady, started the alphabet, and these birds and trees here. And I did do a couple other things at the top of this basket. There's some stuff missing right here, but I finished up the very top of the basket and filled in a couple other things. The bird is still missing his legs. And yeah, I think that's the only thing missing. It's really interesting looking at this with my studio lights because all the colors really pop a lot more. Like this lady's dress is green, but when I work on it downstairs, it definitely looks a lot more muted than it is when I hold it up here. Such a pretty piece. My sister and I were trying to figure out if the lady was wearing a bonnet or just had really funny hair. And I think we've settled on funny hair, but this piece, oh, it's so pretty. I'm sure, as always, I've popped a picture up on the screen so you can see the whole thing, but I think these next 2 weeks until the next cross-stitch episode, I'd really like to work on the border again. I just love all of the stuff that's going on in it. You could keep looking at it, I swear, forever and find something new every single time. But yeah, I'm getting close. This page has the name on it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not a reproduction, I think. So I may put my own name in there instead of the name that's on the pattern. Does it say on here? From the back of the pattern, it seems to me like this is something that Teresa designed herself. So I don't feel bad changing the name because it's not a reproduction. So I think I will do that when I get to that spot, but it's probably going to take a while. So for now, this is where I am, and I'm still loving it. I might as well show you guys the back too. I'm so proud of the back of this. I've been keeping it quite neat, and I am pleased with that. If you look at some of my first cross stitch pieces and how messy the backs of them were, I feel like I've improved quite a bit. Not that it matters because who's going to see it when it's in the frame, but I don't know, it's a little tiny pride thing for me to have a really nice back, so I'm excited that it's turning out that way. And that is everything that I've worked on over the past 2 weeks. Hopefully you found some inspiration. If you did, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Like I said, it really helps with the algorithm and getting my video out there to other people. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new or if you're not, it means a lot to me. And I will see you again next week for a knitting episode and the week after for a cross stitch one. Thanks again. Bye.